"Well, Emelianushka," said I am glad you've come back. Had you been away much longer, I should have gone to look for you in the taverns again today. Are you hungry?" "No, Astafy Ivanovitch." "Come now, aren't you really? Here, brother, is some cabbage soup left over from yesterday. There was meat in it. It is good stuff. And here is some bread and onion. Come, eat it. It'll do you no harm." I made him eat it, and I saw at once that the man had not tasted food for maybe 3 days. He was as hungry as a wolf. So it was hunger that had driven him to me. My heart was melted looking at the poor dear. "Let me run to the tavern," thought I. "I'll get something to ease his heart, and then we'll make an end of it. I've no more anger in my heart against you, Emelianushka." I brought him some vodka. "Here, Emelian Ilyitch, let us have a drink for the holiday. Like a drink? It will do you good." He held out his hand, held it out greedily. He was just taking it, and then he stopped himself. But a minute after I saw him take it and lift it to his mouth, spilling it on his sleeve. But though he got it to his lips, he set it down on the table again. "What is it, Emelianushka?" "Nothing, Astafy Ivanovitch. I sort of Won't you drink it?" "Well, Astafy Ivanovitch, I'm going to drink any more, Astafy Ivanovitch." "Do you mean you've given up altogether, Emelianushka? Or are you only not going to drink today?" He did not answer. A minute later I saw him rest his head on his hand. "What's the matter, Emelianushka? Are you ill?" "Why, yes, Astafy Ivanovitch. I don't feel well." I took him and laid him down on the bed. I saw that he was really ill. His head was burning hot, and he was shivering with fever. I sat by him all day. Towards night he was worse. I mixed him some oil and onion and kvass and bread broken up. "Come, eat some of this," said I, "and perhaps you'll be better." He shook his head. "No," he said, "I won't have any dinner today, Astafy Ivanovitch." I made some tea for him. I quite flustered our old woman. He was no better. Well, thinks I, it's a bad lookout. The third morning I went for a medical gentleman. There was one I knew living close by, Kostopravovu by name. I made his acquaintance when I was in service in the Bostomyagens. He attended me. The doctor come and looked at him. "He's in a bad way," said he. It was no use sending for me, but if you'd like, I can give him a powder." Well, I didn't give him a powder. I thought, that's just the doctor's little game. And then came the fifth day came. He lay, sir, dying before my eyes. I sat in the window with my work in my hands. The old woman was heating the stove. We were all silent. My heart was simply breaking over him, the good-for-nothing fellow. I felt as if it were a son of my own I was losing. I knew that Emelianushka was looking at me. I'd seen the man all day long, making up his mind to say something, and not daring to. At last I looked up at him. I saw such misery in the poor fellow's eyes. He had kept them fixed on me, but when he saw that I was looking at him, he looked down at once. "Astafy Ivanovitch?" "What is it, Emelianushka?" "If you were to take my old coat to a second-hand dealer's, how much do you think they'd give you for it, Astafy Ivanovitch?" "There's no knowing how much they'd give. Maybe they would give me a rouble for it, Emelian Ilyitch." "But if I had taken it, they wouldn't have given a farthing for it, but would have laughed in my face for bringing such a trumpery thing." I'd said simply that to comfort the poor fellow, knowing the simpleton he was. "But I was thinking, Astafy Ivanovitch, they might give you 3 roubles for it. It's made of cloth, Astafy Ivanovitch. How could they give you only 1 rouble for a cloth coat?" "I don't know, Emelian Ilyitch. If you were thinking of taking it, you should certainly ask 3 roubles to begin with." Emelianushka was silent for a time, and then he addressed me again. "Astafy Ivanovitch?" "What is it, Emelianushka?" I asked. "Sell my coat when I die, and don't bury me in it. I can lie as well without it, and it's a thing of some value. It might come in useful." I can't tell you how it made my heart ache to hear him. I saw the death agony was coming on him. We were silent again for a bit. So an hour passed by. I looked at him again, and he was still staring at me. And when he met my eyes, he looked down again. "Do you want some water to drink, Emelian Ilyitch?" I asked him. "Give me some. God bless you, Astafy Ivanovitch." I gave him a drink. Thank you, Astafy Ivanovitch, he said. Is there anything else you would like, Emelianushka? No, Astafy Ivanovitch, there's nothing I want, but I sort of... What? I only... What is it, Emelianushka? Those riding breeches, it was, sort of... I who took them, Astafy Ivanovitch. Well, God forgive you, Emelianushka, said I, you poor, sorrowful creature. Depart in peace. And I was choking myself, sir, and the tears were in my eyes. I turned aside for a moment. Astafy Ivanovitch? I saw Emelianushka wanted to tell me something. He was trying to sit up, trying to speak, and mumbling something. He flushed red all over, suddenly looking at me. Then I saw him turn white again, whiter and whiter, and he seemed to sink away in a minute. His head fell back. He drew one breath and gave up his soul to God. That's the end of The Honest Thief by Fyodor Dostoevsky.